maybe we'll catch something that we can use as a beginning. I was thinking like we had one of those moments where like we're just laughing, like, and then we cut to the beginning of our show. It's like, oh, it's gonna be a good time.
That'll be a great That's great, man.
We're brothers, we're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five.
All right, cut and...
Welcome to Brothers with Questions,
This is Malcolm Davis.
and I am Mixed Liddy.
All right.
Today we will have different type of All right, start over.
All right. Use your tongue for one thing, you'll be used for another thing too, but I'm just saying. Welcome, world. All right, let's be real. Welcome to the very first podcast of Brothers with Questions, an evolving show that will change every week. My name is This is Malcolm Davis.
And my name is Mixed Liddy.
All right.
Today we'll have different type of topics that will coincide with what we live through and what we live with. We're going to touch bases on race relations. We're going to talk about education. We're going to talk about movies. We're going to talk about different topics from time to time. And if you ever have any type of topics, please let us know and put it in our comments or whatever. We'll get back to it. We'll try to have anything. If you have any questions at the end, make sure you leave those and we'll try to get back to it on the next episode. First thing we want to talk about, black men in education. This is a big thing for a lot of us because most of us have had an education or we have children that are currently in school.
So one of the troubling statistics we have always see, what you always hear is that 2% of black males, 2% of educators are black males, which is something that's very startling. If you look at all the other statistics, 23% of males are teachers compared to 7% that are women, so it's a very gender-dominated field.
Education is a woman's world, honestly.
You know what I mean? But then you look at like what's in front of our scholars, especially our brown and black faces, that we see that there's no representation of themselves. It's always, if I'm a young black male growing up, my teachers were white women and black women. So there was no one I can always look up to say like, you know what, that's a very strong professional. That's someone who I want to look up to or someone I want to aspire to be. Because we got to be honest, every black male as a teacher has to have a college education. And if we're looking at even more statistics, like 40% of black males as of 2016 are actually getting higher educations, like higher education beyond like a bachelor's degree. And I understand why there's not many black males in education because it's a low-paying job.
That is true. Okay, besides low pay, why don't we go into education starting off? It's like a lot of us know what we want to do at a young age. Why do we get to the point where it's time for us to go to college and pick a career? You rarely hear guys say, I'm going to go be a teacher. I want to do this. I've heard 100 guys say, I want to be a coach. Mm-hmm. Every guy knows want to be a coach. I rarely see people, I've never heard anybody say they want to be a principal. I've never heard anybody tell me they want to be a principal.
Yeah, well, there's also looking at the demographic of people who are in college with you. Okay. Like, I mean, talking to the brothers and where they come from, their household, like their environment, is like, if I go to college, I better get a job that makes a lot of money because I'm not just supporting myself, I'm also reaching back to supporting my family as well.
And this is true. It's
like,
very expensive. Like, we're both from Mississippi, from Little Bit of Mississippi. And the thing about it is, making a teacher salary in Mississippi is sustainable. You can make it there, but living out here in Georgia, the same salary does not get you as far. You would have to work 2 or 3 jobs if you're single, but if you have a dual income, you can pull together and make a difference. I feel like your region has something to do with it. Because one thing that I didn't notice, even though we didn't have a lot of teachers, we had male representations at our school, at LaFleur County High School, home of the Tigers. But we had a lot of male figures. I mean, we could name Coach Coleman, Mr. McClung, Mr. G, a lot of different representation. But out here, I don't see it that much in Georgia.
Yeah, well, that's true. But as we said before, like we're an anomaly. Like Ittle has a college within its own city limits.
So education is already a big
part of our
like,
come on, like you got Valley right there down the street, you got MDCC, like there's no excuse. But like, not saying there's no excuse, but like, if you want a higher education in that town, you have the opportunities too. If not in Ittle, it's somewhere else. Like there's always somebody there. Wait, if we had to guess, like how many of our teachers were from Valley?
I'd probably say like 60% of our teachers.
Like that's ridiculous.
When
That's
we were
like
going.
amazing though. But that's amazing though. So if you want somebody who's strong, like somebody from your hometown to make a difference, like I am very happy that I went to school in Illinois because I had people who were educated and who were from that same surrounding area.
So it's not like they come to work and then they go home to somewhere else. They are part of the community.
Yeah, they
that
are
they're
part of the
serving.
community. So like, if we're looking at like other places, like when I was teaching in New York, like it was very rare for me to find like another black male teacher. And it also goes back to the same conversation that I was trying to have before, is that if I'm a black male and I'm trying to like make money, I'm gonna go to the jobs that actually do make it. So like I got plenty of friends who are doctors, lawyers, engineers, and like they are making a lot of money, but it's like
they're not seen. The people who are affected by it don't see that.
yeah, and that goes back to like come back into your own community and say like, you know what, I need to do something. Shout out to our friend G McGee, Joe College, who's like just listening to him talking about how powerful he wants to go back and change his hometown, and saying like, I want to change It'll Be, like I want to do this thing.
I want to place this here. I want to do this. I want to make it for the kids to have this.
Yeah.
And the only way you can actually see it is to be a part of the community. If you get your paycheck and go somewhere else, you're never gonna pay any attention.
I mean, we did that.
I mean, yeah, but we moved away because of opportunities, more opportunities in this
And
area.
that's another thing, that's opportunity. So like we're focused on the conversation about like what needs to happen to like our communities. Like that's another thing, opportunities for our kids. Like they don't have those. So
Yeah.
like you just said, like you don't see those guys, you don't see those engineers. You're right, we don't see them because
In order for them to make it, they had to leave.
they had to leave. And that's what's always going to happen. Like you're going to leave, but hopefully you come back to want to change.
But I will say this: I was at home this weekend,
Mhm.
and it was Easter. It was the Easter Sunday, and I promise you, the town was in such they were in such good spirits. They were having barbecues out at the park. It was a lot of community.
Yeah.
People were out. It felt so good to ride through there. It felt like this is my culture. This is where I'm from. Because even though I live out here in Georgia, I still feel that disconnect. That this is not who I am. I'm not this city guy.
Mhm.
I've lived in Mississippi my entire life until the last 4 or 5 years. So I can't just sit there and move here and then I'm someone else. Nah, it doesn't work that way.
I've always been the black sheep of my family. Like,
It's okay.
as you see, like even when I was in middle school, how I
But
lived.
you're light skinned.
Boy, you funny.
Light skinned people.
I know, man. I won't be able to get in Wakanda, dog. In
Well
kind.
kind.
Huh?
Well,
Well, kind. But nah, man, I know exactly what you feel like. But I'm on the opposite. Like when I was in Itobina, like I am thankful for my upbringing. However, I realized that that wasn't a place for me.
I was told this when we were young. It's a great place to grow up and grow old. It's to give you the best morals in the world and everything.
It's true.
You come out to be a great person. But for an extended period of time, you need to go see some stuff. You gotta go see life. And I know you live. All right.
All right.
On to the next topic.
Okay.
You can introduce this one. I know you're gonna enjoy this part.
All right. The next one, next topic that's on our docket is the single brother versus the married brother, and what's happening in the dating world. Before we begin this conversation, I'm living vicariously through Mickey. Like whenever he brings up a story about one of his escapades.
Whoa.
What? No, I can't say escapades.
I'm a virgin. Go on.
So Mickey's a virgin.
I'm a virgin.
And so like it's really great to hear these conversations, like trying to pick his brain, like what he's going through, because I was at that point at one time in my life, but now I'm married and it's really awesome. Love my wife to death. But Mickey, what do you think is the hardest thing for a black male right now, especially for you in the dating world?
Okay. Well, you gotta find it's hard to find people.
Okay.
Genuine people. It's like everybody's on their own wavelength right now, especially in our age group. We're not in our early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
No one needs to know how old we are. It's kind of different because at this point in time, I'm single. I have no children or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to meet a young lady who has children, that within itself is a mind switch to me because I have to go from.
So you would date a woman who has kids?
I prefer not to.
Okay.
And,
There's nothing wrong with
and
it.
there's nothing wrong with it. Not saying that women who have kids are bad people or anything.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, with me working in education for so long, I see how it affects the children when they have a male representation in them.
Gotcha.
I don't want to introduce myself to this kid's life and knowing I'm going to be super serious about this kid's life, and then he starts looking at me as a father figure. Me and the mom have a falling out, have an issue, aren't seeing eye to eye, and aren't together anymore. Now I'm being ripped away from this kid, or the kid is actually being ripped away from me. That's going to be damaging to him, especially if I was a positive role model in his life. Now he has to carry the scars of his biological father not being present, plus the surrogate father being removed as well. It's going to cause it'll cause a mental insanity within that young man. And so that's one thing I don't like dating women with kids, because I think about the kids. But what if you don't meet the kids? She can keep the kids. Where's mom going 7 times a week? Mom's always gone. Come on. I mean, and
so she gotta see you 7 times a week.
I need constant.
Okay.
Constant.
Okay, and that's a good segue into the next conversation like I want to talk to you about. So we also talked about like dating online. And so like I skipped all that. Like when I was living in New York, like I had the greatest opportunity to meet my wife like first couple days I got there. So my question is like, if you're on a dating app, is it possible to say like, I don't want, my preferences are I don't have someone who's dating online? So if you're meeting people online, like is that something you put in your preference? Like I wouldn't mind dating somebody with kids. I don't want to date somebody with kids, or it's just like you get what you get.
I mean, I don't date online.
Well, have you ever tried?
I don't feel like dating online is genuine. To me, I mean, I know people, like we talked about off camera, people have met their significant others.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't prefer it.
Why not?
I didn't grow up in that era. It's like, even with, I don't slide into DMs. I go straight to your page and be like, all right, there, girl, or something like that.
But it's still online though.
It'll be online, but I don't like that private part, like going ahead and you gotta accept it, you gotta face it head on, because I mean, I haven't always been brave when it came to talking to women. For me, I had to overcome that to talk to women. And if you hiding behind your black mirror, you're just giving them just the same thing you'll give them on
like,
Instagram.
So you're probably one of those people when you first meet someone, oh, this is me, point blank period.
I got to give it to you.
You got to give it to, but like some folks aren't like that.
I know.
And so what I'm saying is like, you meet somebody in the club, you can't give them like 100% Mickey right now, because one, the music playing, the live, so they may be drunk.
Hey, you can't bring up scenarios if you don't want me to respond.
You're right, man. But what I'm saying is like, okay, so in the fairness of the conversation, like people you do meet like head on face forward. Like sometimes they may not give you 100% who they are.
Yeah.
Like you digging your nose and you eat your booger. Like you're not gonna show that the first time you meet someone, are you?
On the Instagram profile pic, like.
That is true. Yeah. It's hard to have this conversation with you.
I know. I'm serious. I don't like the bull crap.
Okay, well for me, I can understand like certain things that when you first meet someone, you don't want to know like all your problems or your baggage, you know, baggage. You don't want to know all your problems. And you just slowly and surely like give that to that person. That's the same thing as having an online dating though. Like you want to give them like the little part that you want to see the good parts of it. You're nice, you're smiling, all those things, but it's like
it's not genuine. That's why I don't like it.
Then you don't like dating, period. Then.
No, because
is that why you're single?
Oh, taking shots at
I'm
you.
not taking shots. I'm just being real. Like you say you don't like these things, but like outside,
I like talking to people face to face because I like human interaction. I like to see facial expressions.
Okay.
I like to. You have to. I like that.
Okay, so
texting give you too much time to think of a smooth way to talk.
The ellipses be getting me, bro.
You can like guys can swear they smooth if they talking in text because it's like, okay, no, I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna try to play it this way. Let me slide me a sexual double entendre in this month. I mean, you have too much time to think. But if you on
okay,
I like being in that chaotic moment.
But is it not the conversation of saying that I need to get the person in front of me first, right? Because you got to get the person in front of you before you start talking to them, right?
I mean, yeah.
So let's say you meet an attractive young lady online, and I'm not. This is all I'm saying.
You're stalking online.
Okay, you're stalking online because I'm married. You're stalking online, and you see somebody you like, and the first thing you're gonna say like, okay, I need to have a face to face with this young lady.
I mean, if I was to be online trying to date, I would of course have to go ahead and try to inbox or whatever.
So how is that different from I see a girl over there, I need to have face to face with her. I need to take myself from where I am now, walk over there to her.
Because I've learned that women are very attracted to confidence. It's it's hard to sit there and try to fake confidence in a woman's face when you first meet her. She gonna pick up, oh, he confident or not? I mean, that's attractive to them. So I feel like, hey, if I can put my best foot forward when I first meet somebody, then I'll do that. Me, I like to act crazy when I first meet somebody, so I'm not putting my best foot forward. I can be a lot better than you know what yeah.
I feel you.
I like human interaction.
Okay.
That's what. Ugh.
No.
Okay. You know what? Let's talk about marriage.
Okay.
All right. How is married life different from your previous life of dating and everything? When you only talk to this one person, this is the only person you rely on. It's not Felicia ain't cooking and Melissa ain't got the shoes for you. I'm talking about that one woman who's everything. She's a superhero.
Yo, so what I figured out from my marriage for myself is that I found someone who like understands that I'm weird as shit.
Yes.
And like they're okay with that.
Because they are weird as shit secretly.
I mean, it could be that, or they're just like, marriage is like understanding the person's baggage and helping that person either become a better person or dealing with that is not like a hindrance to who you really are. Because like,
so everybody's not strong enough for marriage, basically.
I mean, everybody can be strong for the right person though.
Yeah.
Like I can't go date someone who's like high strung and wants to like jump out of planes all the time, like there's adventurous or something like that. I'm not gonna be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like let's go hiking. Go hiking for mountain lions are real out here in 2018.
It's an experience.
Yeah, I don't want to do that, man. But like somebody
Experience.
who like likes what you like though, like come on, man. Like that's the hard part. Like I see a lot of guys, and like it's like, oh man, that girl bad and stuff. Like I remember being young, and like I'm not even trying to bring my boys up, but like I remember like when I came back senior year of high school, and everybody was like, yo, we need to go to Drew, Mississippi, man, because these girls over here bad and stuff. And I remember going, and the girl they want me to talk to.
Hey, man, Cole, you divulging.
I'm divulging?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna cut it out. But like what I'm saying is like my guys, my boys I grew up with, they had a different idea of the type of girl they wanted to talk to. And like that's okay for them. So it's like you have to like figure out like what you want.
Being one of your boys that you grew up with, I believe that's because you had a lot more exposure.
And that's
You got
another
exposed
thing.
a lot more than we did.
You gotta see different things. You gotta see what you want. But that's what dating is. You talk to different people until you
Yeah.
figure out what you really want. And then when you figure that out, like boom. But the crazy thing is, I wasn't even looking for anybody. And my wife popped up out of nowhere, and it's like, bam, there it is. That's the type of love you need.
That was God.
Who? Yeah, boy,
God.
That was God. Jesus.
He sprinkled up on
I know, man.
salt
She gave us
bathing.
salt bathing. You look kind of bored right now.
Change your life.
Yeah, you need to change your life right there.
And okay, did marriage really make the difference in your life? Did it
What?
make you into a better person, or do you feel like it just did you enhance as a person?
So, as we were saying off camera as well, like our upbringings are very similar. Like growing up in a dual parent household,
Amen.
like I got to see a marriage, and I got to see like the ins and outs of it, like the gives and the takes of it.
Yeah.
And one thing I learned from like, if anything, if you're going through a relationship and you don't come out a better person, or you don't come out and learned anything, you're just selfish. You're gonna continue going through the same bullcrap. That's what I did. And then like I had to look back at like when I really thought that my wife was the one. I looked at my parents' marriage and I looked at like the great things about it. But I really looked at hard at like the things that they work on a lot, or like their pitfalls. And I'm like, okay, in order for me to have a better marriage, I had to look at like the little things that they went through. Because you know your parents, they always tell you don't do this because they went through it. And either you're gonna listen or you're gonna be that person be like, you know what, I don't care, go through it again and come back to your parents like, you were right. But no, I actually saw my parents and like the things they went through. And like that what made it easier for me to like be in my marriage.
I mean, I gotta be honest with you. Like, y'all goals, y'all marriage goals, that stuff is God.
But it's hard work though. Like it's like there's been plenty of times where I'm just like, I totally don't agree. However,
I got one, you know what?
Go ahead.
No. It's the time's up.
oh, okay. Well, if we make it end on something else and you can answer that question.
Okay. We're talking about movie reviews. This is gonna be something I'm gonna try to put every time I love movies. We're gonna start
Love
on no
movies.
late, but we're gonna try to keep up with the movies. And on that
Love
part,
movies.
I might try to develop a whole thing where we're just talking about movies. At one
Can we
point.
do that? That's great. I want to do that.
We're gonna do that.
Love movies.
All right. Thing we want to talk about, of course, everyone's favorite, Black Panther. Yay! Yay! All right, we're talking about Black Panther, and we're talking about the effect of how it done on Black people. But before that, we want to say how amazing the movie actually is. The CG is kind of shoddy, but it's a great movie, and it blockbuster. It's doing numbers. What I want to talk about is, I believe, and I'm not gonna knock this because I'm a Marvel fan. I've seen the other movies. Some people just got on at Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have gotten off the train
Day
already.
one.
And I promise you, I'm gonna be at Infinity War.
I already got my ticket. I already got my ticket.
NCG doesn't pre-order.
Who's NCG?
That's the one that's done.
You gotta go read it, boy. I got a little pass and everything. How many movies I go see? I'm Diamond Stars.
Wow.
I know.
But I feel that Black Panther is kind of. Please don't, I'm gonna lose my black card.
Black Panther, Beyonce of movies.
It's.
Don't talk negative about Black Panther.
I know my grandmom's gonna roll in her grave.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
Dig up.
it's kind of a distraction. I feel like it can be played. It can be played in the wrong sense. Just like they feel like, well, we gave you black people Obama. You got Black Panther. What else do you need? And it's just, I don't believe it should be as distracting as it is, because just like I went and saw it twice, like most people, we know they're not going to donate back to the black community, and so for us to involve our money and put so much into it, it's sad, it's bitter, it's terrible, because regardless of how many billions of dollars they made, they're not going to give a nickel back. Now, I do say it's some good representation that we have as black people, like you said, that we're not represented as thugs, drug dealers, or slaves, or anything. Mm-hmm. We actually have some positive representation. We have the antagonists and the protagonists are just as important to the movie. They both have. I mean, I think this is probably the first movie where people will love the hero just as much as they love the villain. Yeah. And I mean, it was well played. It was a great movie, but I don't believe the hype over it should be that it was like our savior as a movie.
Okay, so
they gave it Jesus status.
I see what you're saying, and you're right. Like, we invested our money into a movie for our entertainment, but that's what movies are, though. They're there for entertainment. Like, I'm sure Pacific Rim Uprising has a black lead, Jumbo Wanya, whatever his name is.
John Boyega,
thank you. I'm sure whatever money like they gave to his movie, like, it's not going to a community, but at the same time, it's a movie about machines, and like, I'm sure the machine community isn't getting money from them. The problem, like, what I'm seeing from that, like what I got from that movie is like the representation. What you said before is that we're seeing a character outside of the social norm that we see in media entertainment, and not just us. Kids are seeing this. Like, growing up, like, I'm gonna be real about myself. Like, I wasn't a woke child. Like, I grew up in a segregated town. Like, we only hung out with our people. That's it. But like, you see these type of movies and you don't get representations of yourself. But then you look at Black Panther, the only thing you see is these black people. You see black people doing great things. You see the villain actually being an MIT grad, and he's still like he's an anti-hero. Like that's mind blowing.
And he wasn't technically a villain. He had a.
Well, he did.
He kind of went off the rails at the end, but he had a motive and understanding.
He started right in the middle when he shot that black woman who was like, "I'm sorry, hold me down."
No,
this is a narrative about like how black men treat black women. We're not even
wow.
talking about. We'll go into that later.
Allegory. That was some similar
allegory.
I never even
like that's what I'm saying. Like, there was so many narratives within that movie. Like, that's what I got out of it. Yeah, they didn't get back to the community, but they gave us something to talk about that we need to start like jumping into. Like Killmonger is the American black man who was like disassociated with Africa, which is T'Challa. And they looked at the Killmonger character as if like you're a lost soul, and he's an outsider. But like, he's saying like, no, I'm still part of you. Like, come back here and help me. That's why like the progression of the movie leads to the very end. Spoiler alert! I'm so sorry.
No, don't you dare.
No, man. If you ain't seen it by now, you deserve to get your black card.
Okay, go ahead.
But at the very end, you see T'Challa giving back to like the American community, saying like, we're gonna reach out to the world though.
Yeah.
But like that's what needs to happen now. Like, if we believe Wakanda is a real place within all of us. And like I know people say like, "Oh, you're being too deep with the movie," but like I don't know about you. When I saw Wakanda, when he flew in there, when I saw Wakanda, an idea of Africa that has never been colonized, boy, I got emotional. Why? Because like we do all this talking about like how in America the black man's been held down, and we're seeing like this is what we could do for our own selves. Instead of having people bite off our culture, we need to do something for ourselves.
I don't believe we support each other as much as because the gatekeepers, I'll say the gatekeepers of our success or the success that we have reached in pop culture or the public eye is only allowed if we hush up. It's like something that we're going to get into in just a second about being like your own business or anything. It's like we don't support each other as much as we just don't. We're not.
But then that goes back to what you just said though. You just said like, oh, it's just something we just gave our money to. We have a black director. We have a mostly black cast.
Now let me ask you this.
And that's supporting them. We just supported something. We just showed that a group of people like can actually come together and support something.
I'm gonna ask you this. Lord Jamar just said this on Black TV, and I was listening to it, and it was kind of a good point he brought up. He said that is this movie, the Black Panther movie, gonna open the door for black actors, or is it gonna center around a certain group of black actors? Because we know the black actors in these movies, in Black Panther, already got movies scheduled up, coming up.
Gotcha.
Is it gonna allow certain blacks in, certain people in? Because I know, what's T'Challa? What is his real name?
T'Challa, isn't it?
Chadwick Boseman.
Okay.
Chadwick Boseman has played everything from Aaron, Thurgood Marshall.
Thurgood Marshall.
He don't look nothing like Thurgood Marshall. It's like he's a great actor, amazing actor. But they don't. I believe they placed in him. They're just gonna keep putting him. He's gonna become the new Denzel. He's gonna be the new token black guy for everybody.
Okay.
And it's like, are we really getting the door open, or are they just cracking it and letting a certain?
Well,
if we let a couple of them in, you got your Black Panther movie,
no.
you got your Obama. What do you need?
Okay, look what happened after like Black Panther. Even before that, like you see Tyler Perry. Like I know people ridicule Tyler Perry all the time. However,
but
he's a black director who
Legendary.
makes black movies, and he's like doing. He was at one point the highest paid man in Hollywood.
And he did it by himself.
He
really
did it by himself. And like you
so
see how a lot of people didn't give him like any clout or anything. Like they like ridiculed his movies.
But kids talk about him now in Black History Month.
Which is pretty. You have to because he's actually doing something that's like outstanding for the black community. Now, granted, the imagery or like the black people that his imagery of black people, especially black women that he puts forward, can come off a little crazy. However, it's like a story's being told from a black perspective.
My thing is, how can people not support him as much, but they can support Jordan, who does not support us as much? You know what I mean? Or as black people.
Well, that's something that's instilled within us. This idea that we have to look good. Our problems have to be the back burner, but we have to look good on the outside. But that's what everybody does, though. That's outside of black people. It's just like we look good on the outside, but on the inside, we have all these problems, all these things that are like attacking us. But like we need to start ourselves for putting so much emphasis on that.
All right, we're gonna have this on the next one.
Okay.
No, this is one big we're gonna touch on next time.
As a black man.
Because we don't. No one ever discusses that.
That's a good one.
All right.
I'm light skinned, boy. I can really talk about that.
Hey, it's okay. I'm black. All right. Last thing we're gonna bring up and talk about is investing.
Yes.
That's something we don't talk about as a community, as a people. And even if we talk about it, it's almost like N-word arguments. We'll talk about what we need to do this, we need to do that. But I mean, sometimes you gotta sit there and move in silence and get your stuff going, and then people jump on when they see something happening. If you're talking about people are not gonna probably join in, they like to see black people. I'm gonna stop talking about black people. Society likes to see results, then they like to see ideas, because everybody has an idea, and everybody's with you until your idea has already surpassed where they thought it could go. So, I mean, on the topic of investing, you were speaking about earlier. You were talking about Jay-Z and Diddy.
Yeah, so Jay-Z and Diddy trying to bring their money together and start developing apps or developing ways for people to invest into black communities or black companies. However, like outside of Jay-Z and Diddy, like there are other apps out there that like that you can find within like the app world to actually help you do that. Spendefy.
Spendefy. Explain to them what Spendefy is.
So Spendefy is this media platform that like gives you ability to find whatever city you're in, just like a real app. And you're basically looking for black companies within your city. And so if I'm looking for food, I'm really hungry right now, I can go to Spendefy. I can look up restaurants. I'm in Atlanta. Next thing you know, all these restaurants come up and they're black owned businesses. So instead of thinking like, oh, I want to give back to the community, I don't know how to, like you have to start investing into your own community.
And that's investing into your own community. Buying a burger from your black community's burger shop is better than going to McDonald's. Because the money that is made in that place is actually going to keep this business alive. It's not going to a Fortune 500 company or millionaires and billionaires, corporate. These people are taking their hard-earned time and money and invested into a small area and try to provide the services to a community.
Yes.
And going to them is better than going to these high-placed things. I mean, not saying everybody's going to change instantly, but if you eat out every day of the week and 7 days in a week, 3 days out of the week, 2 days out of the week, go to a black, go to your community. Not just black, go to your community and eat their food. I mean, when I go home, I like to eat food from people. I like the natural taste of what I'm used to. I don't want to go home and taste McDonald's because I get McDonald's here.
You can get McDonald's anywhere.
Yeah, and it's like that's the thing. Like when people always talk about going to Louisiana because the food, the culture, they get a part of their culture, but people don't realize you are your culture. Your neighborhood is your culture.
Except for that iced tea, I'm sorry. Mississippi's McDonald's have the best sweet teas in all the world. It's like diabetes within a cup.
I remember they closed the Popeyes in Greenwood, and I can't understand for the life of me. Who closes Popeyes, for one, in a predominantly black area? I know it's a stereotype, but I like chicken. What in the world you closing Popeyes? I gotta go to Indianola just to get some chicken now?
They close Popeyes now for real?
In
Are you
Greenwood?
joking?
No,
I
son.
didn't know that. Hey, you been a while since I've been back, bro.
Man.
Oh man, that's so sad.
Anywho, we rolling on. We'll try to meet with you guys again. We're gonna have different topics to discuss. One thing we're gonna try to talk about next time is black men emotions. I know a lot of people don't like to touch bases on this. I gotta leave y'all on a cliffhanger. Like, what are they gonna say? Hey, we're gonna touch bases on that. If you have any other topics or something to talk about, please put it in the comments. Anything, we'll love to listen. We'll love to talk. If you have any questions, we'll try to make sure we answer them by the next show. Y'all be ready. We'll let you know when it hit.
Oh, also, wait a minute. We got to put this out there. So the name of our show right now is Brothers with Questions.
Brothers with Questions.
Now, we want this to be an evolving show.
Oh, and Malcolm did the cover art himself. It looks amazing. I love it.
Okay, thank you. And we want to change it up every time there's a new idea. So if you, our listeners, our viewers, whoever, if you have an idea of what our new name for our show could be, it's something has to be something that like actually we can build on top of. We can take that name and put it out there, and that could be the name of our show. So we're asking you for our help.
Any ideas, we're willing to listen. We'll try to make sure we have another good show. If you got any, please, good topics. We're not running away from topics. We're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Anything.
Whatever. All right. Thank you so much. Once again, I'm Mix Liddy.
This is Malcolm Davis.
Y'all have a blessed evening.
He's out.